So the Miraculous video got attention.
Not by a lot by regular YouTuber standards, sure, but in terms of a small passion project about a show I accidentally discovered because of my brother's obsessions, yeah, I'd say this was certainly effective. So, thank you? Didn't expect this necessarily, but you know what? This is neat. And definitely more motivating, considering sometimes it feels like I'm just ranting to the void about stuff I happen to like. Anyway, after giving this considerable thought, and looking at two people who commented, I decided it would probably be nice to the algorithm and general audience I have found to keep on talking about it. Will it be the only thing I talk about? No, I am a multicultural dork. That makes no sense now that I'm reading it. I am a multimedia franchised dork. But since I am not doing the whole weekly upload schedule thing anymore, I will have to find some other way to keep this train moving. So, with a heart not so heavy and probably more energized than anything else, I welcome you to my first series of videos, the Miraculous Critiques? I don't know. I haven't figured out a name yet. The last video was more of a critique than I intended it, but that's just how my script turned out after multiple rewrites. So, critiques it is for now. Even if I don't consider myself to really be a reviewer, just an audience member with a lot to say.
You like the better mask, by the way? I found a better mask. I stole it from my sibling just for this recording.
In this series, I'll talk about the latest episodes of the show, and then maybe if I'm bored, talk about some old ones. Luckily for me, though, 4 episodes of Season 6 already exist, as we are still in the early days of the show releasing new content, so huzzah! I got frick to talk about. I like talking. Thank God this show is really easy to find footage of, as otherwise I would have to resort to sailing the 7 seas just to find anything. Which I totally didn't do with the last video. I have no idea what you are talking about. I'll upload a new video every 3 or so episodes, because that'll be easier for my poor editor self, and it gives me at least a decent chunk of story to talk about instead of just 22 minutes of typical kids' cartoon shenanigans. Cool? Cool. Meaning with all that said, let's sit back and watch a new season of... What? Huh? No, hold on. What? Hey, well, wait, stop. What? Why does this look better? It's so pretty now! Oh my god! I, for one, am a person who 100% agrees with the idea of not judging a book by its cover. Sometimes the strangest of things, or cheapest of things, can be some of the best pieces of media you will ever see, as it all comes down to the writing, or as Miraculous shows, the general ideas and characters sometimes being really cool. Now, I didn't think the show looked bad. In fact, I found it kinda cute. Clearly low budget, but not falling into the realm of Uncanny Valley or anything. Most of the time. It was appealing enough and expressive enough that it brought its story across decently well, especially in some of the later seasons where they managed to get better at the lighting and location designs. But holy fuck, this is a much needed improvement! Look at this thing! The characters' faces are way more expressive, the animation has more layers, it looks more like a cartoon, I love the motion lines and the anime eyes and the ways the camera moves, it's just so much better! Ah!
This isn't even coffee, by the way. This is just orange juice.
Now, the changes to the character designs are a little weird, I will admit. But, who cares? I ain't blighted by nostalgia. I'm still new here. I like seeing some of this. Even if Adrian's face is a little weird. Not enough to take me out of it, just, you know, a weird reminder that these guys are supposed to be designed for dolls, not action figures. Look! Adrian finally has differences in his suit design! There's a little paw print on the back! They finally gave him a new suit after Marinette had like 5! And speaking of Marinette, her suit is badass! No notes. Way more visually interesting and probably never gonna be topped. I love layers in superhero outfits, and seeing the detail put into this costume really makes the simple look she had feel like a vague concept rather than a finished design. I am gonna cry like a sad baby when she inevitably changes into something else now. It'll be like how I felt seeing the Flash costume get slowly better and then progressively worse season to season. Yes, I watched the CW Flash show, are you shocked? If I'm able to stomach Miraculous, you'll bet I'll be able to watch the CW shows. Presentation isn't everything, but man, it doesn't mean I can't appreciate it when it gets better. Hell, even the opening is way more interesting. Her secret has been recontextualized to be the secret about the ending of Season 5. That is neat. They also normalized the relationship between Marinette and Adrian here, so hopefully these guys are here to stay and we don't have to worry about anything. I really have to emphasize the hopefully because I know this show loves to do something stupid first and then something cool later. It's the whole reason I keep coming back. And after watching these past 4 episodes, I think Marinette and Adrian are safe for now, but I'm almost certain something is gonna happen. Especially the new secret hanging on for dear life just waiting to be used as drama material. Anyway, yeah, I love the animation.
You know, I gotta say, these do not look that bad on me.
As for said 4 episodes, I think they're fun. Not much to say, as I already mentioned, but seriously, the show has come a long way. Marinette is actually funny to watch despite her shenanigans, which is another reason I keep coming back. And as long as she doesn't stalk people or kiss statues again, I'm all here for slightly paranoid and manic teen who somehow is also a cool superhero. However, it is a bit weird how Marinette went from serious at the end of Season 5 to just being back as her usual paranoid self. Like, I expected some sort of character development to pass over, but it's not like anything has severely been contradicted yet. She still clearly has the smarts as Ladybug, and she is leaving Adrian alone, only really using her manic research skills to figure out everything about a pretty well-documented athlete, so less creepy, except, still odd, but at this point the show is leaning towards it as more of an awkward charm. Whether that's a good message is entirely up to you, but for my money, it's fine for now. On the topic of good messages, the episodes so far have been leaning towards them. I really like Marinette struggling to figure out how to show affection within a relationship in the episode Illustrator, or Illustrator, It's important to figure out boundaries, and seeing Adrian talk to her about this at the end was pretty wholesome. Even if he blamed himself, and he did absolutely nothing wrong here.
Everything okay, Adrian?
I'm sorry I'm not doing things the way you need me to, Marinette.
You did nothing wrong! It probably could have been done a bit better, considering relationships are all about trust, and it seems like Miss Paranoia over here is more self-conscious about herself instead of worrying about having a good time with her boyfriend. Seriously, I feel so bad for Adrian here. However, the episode Sublimation does the messaging a whole lot better. Not only did I successfully laugh at Marinette being cuckoo.
Oh boy.
She's literally running on the walls!
But the narrative rightfully calls her out multiple times for being cuckoo, and even has her admit she was wrong and fix the damage at the end. This was awesome. Using the format to your advantage and emphasizing your point is, believe it or not, pretty smart. Plus, the actual bad guy here was interesting, as she wasn't really a baddie, just a person manipulated by Lila, and don't worry, put a pin in that as I will talk about her later. I love the idea that the best version of yourself is only just you putting in your best as yourself. It shows that being better is actually kind of impossible, and you can only ever strive to be better at being who you are. Great moral, 10 out of 10. Also, yes, I know, Sublime is a dumb name, but like, considering the amount of ego coming from her mother when she says it, I wouldn't be shocked if she was named this because of her mother wanting her to be Sublime. It's like this was almost a very not subtle way for writers to show kids the attitude this parent has without going into the nitty-gritty of why there was a divorce in the first place. Daddy Cop was less great and leaned towards more of the ridiculous teenage drama stuff, which isn't always bad, but I felt a sense of dread seeing Chloe show up in the first few seconds.
Everything in London
Oh,
is
shit!
more incredible than in Paris.
However, the acknowledgement of Sabrina's bad behavior in prior seasons and seeing her rightfully apologize for everything was nice. Apart from Natalie earlier, this is the first proper redemption arc I've seen come from a registered baddie in the show that was female, even if she was clearly just a slave, so Not entirely a baddie, but I can take what I can get. Also, Adrian willingly saying that he shouldn't be the center of Marinette's universe is really funny to me. Speaking of Adrian, people who do not speak the English language got the episode earlier, meaning I was able to get a copy of Werepapas with only English subtitles. Not amazing, but man, does the contents of this episode make up for it. We got our first plot-relevant one. Finally acknowledging questions that were burning in my brain for a while. Like, what's the status of Adrian's home life now that his father is deceased and who owns custody of him? Apparently, his grandparents on both sides have been asking the same thing and set up a personal meeting to argue about it. The whole episode goes down into these details and even gives us more of that juicy lore with flashback scenes showing Adrian's mother. This is also the first episode of Season 6 that actually has Marinette not be super crazy and act more like she has been near the end of Season 5. The scarf looks awesome, by the way.
Scarf!
It even continues that weird thing that's been going on with Adrian where he doesn't know what to do with his life now that he isn't a model anymore, and isn't under the pressure of having to listen to someone telling him what to do. Except after all the crazy chaos and all is said and done, Natalie officially becomes his legal guardian, and for now, Adrian's life is in a much better place, thank God. Meaning he'll have proper time to figure all this out, and man, I'm just happy this kid finally got attention again. It's nice seeing him in the crosshairs of his problems instead of being trapped away from them. We're a few steps closer to this guy finally doing something for himself. Put her there, dude. I don't know how to transition to the next thing, so,
Lila is terrifying!
I'm gonna miss Hawkmoth's goofy monologues, but damn, it's nice to have a baddie who actually feels threatening. The way she comes in and acts all nice, charming, and convincing as she takes over her victims is, way more intimidating than the mind control we've seen prior. Makes me wish Lila was always like this. Instead of a goofy liar who somehow convinces everyone to believe her except our protagonist, I wish she started off like she is now, where she is more of a manipulative person who convinces others to get her what she wants. It was a bit of a slow burn, but eventually in Season 5 I started to work this out, and for once I started to be invested in her defeat to a point I jumped for joy when she was finally exposed. But then, when we saw her suddenly have multiple identities and even successfully mess with the story so she gains everything she needs, I was amazingly intrigued. I couldn't stop thinking about this character. I mean, even in the London special, she actually wins, and the whole plot is Ladybug desperately trying to turn back that victory so she can find time to prevent it. So I'm happy to see she still keeps up this trend of being cool. Well, bad. Very bad, but cool to watch. Dude, she doesn't even allow Nuru to speak. Good God. She even stalks people on the streets so she can choose her next victim. Like, holy frick. Take notes, Gabriel. I know you're dead now, so you can't, but come on. She is way better at being an evil frick than you ever were. Tsurugi is also here as a bad guy, and this shocks no one. The only thing I have to say to her is this.
Yes, stare ominously out the window even though you can't see anything.
Very interested to see where this will go and if Kagami will play a role in stopping whatever evil thing she will decide to do next, I guess. Interestingly enough, though, we are also getting hints at Zoe having a story involving her past in New York, with this new guy showing up and threatening to reveal stuff about it, and I gotta say, if this means she'll get something else to actually do in the plot that isn't just hanging around and slowly stealing things which belong to Chloe, I'm all here for it. I don't hate her as much as some apparently do, but it would be nice to see unique things come out of her character instead of just being likable and liking Marinette. Shame this will probably take forever to follow up on, as these episodes are all releasing out of order.
May I present to you my mortal enemy? Gotta love it.
Luckily, the show is mainly episodic still, so it mostly gets away with it. But I'm a little sad how the timeline will still haunt me because I'll be forever wondering what takes place when. However, even when the show's in order, I still ask the same question about timeline and stuff, so it's best to probably not overthink it. Canon is a cruel and evil place that doesn't love you no matter how much affection you give it. It's my toxic relationship. On the bright side, I'm certain some things will be further elaborated in time, because there is no way in hell they can ignore actual plot forever. If Werepapas has proven anything, it's that we'll get stuff, it just means week by week I'll have to keep watching and see what happens, like any good show. Meaning, patience is key. For now, though, that's about it. As stated at the beginning, every 3 episodes or so, I'll be back and give my thoughts. It isn't amazing for people who like consistent uploads, but it will be when you see the finished products. I plan to do this until Season 6 ends, and after that, I might either talk about older episodes or find something else if you guys want to branch out into my other fandoms. Miraculous isn't going anywhere, but I do have another favorite TV show I've been meaning to do another proper video on, so stay tuned if you want. Either you do that or you be a normal person and wait for my next video, but, you know, support is appreciated. Ta-ta, Miraculous people. I don't know what to call Miraculous fans.
I also have this pillow now. It was given to me because my brother does not keep pillow covers on, so I guess I have a little polka-dotted pillow for my bed now.